I started by drawing out the flower. Then I put water in the petals and I made a pale peach color with a touch of red and yellow with lots of water. And I added that to the right on top of that water. And then I added salt and proceeded to do that with all 3 of these buds. I made a darker peach color while I was waiting for them to dry. And I started painting in the center. Now if you noticed that I'm painting the negative spaces around the petals. And notice that the tips of the petals are pointed toward the center. And I made sure of my directional lines as I was painting. And note the petals in the center are smaller, or you see less of the petal. So you're seeing more of the spaces between petals, and they're fairly close together. And as I start moving my way out from the center, the petals are larger, but they're still tipped toward the center. So I'm just being careful about how I'm putting in my lines. So it gives the sense of them being closed. I'm using 2 brushes. I have a small brush with the paint on it. And you can see I'm using that in just creating all those little small spaces, the shadows between the petals. It's the negative spaces is what makes the petal look like it stands out. So notice how sometimes the petal itself, when I'm putting in the shadow, it's almost like little triangles of color with a soft edge at the top. And I'm just being careful not to lose all my light pale peach. By painting negative space like this, it's a little bit like carving out the petals. So here I'm coming in with the larger brush, and I was pulling out the color a little bit with just water on the bigger brush. I'm doing it again here. So as I'm working in the larger areas, I'm doing the pushing and pulling again, where I put in the color with the little brush, and then I come in with the big brush to pull it away a little bit so it softens it into the other petal. When I was working in the centers, there was not a lot of space between the petals for me to do this. And if it's too much, I'll pull it away with a dab of my cloth. Now notice that these bottom petals are sticking out away from the rest of the petals. So the shadow is a little bit stronger here between the petals that are pulling away and the rest of the petals that are kind of curved in toward the center. putting in a little bit more darks here and there and then pulling it away a little bit. Just keep those shadows, make it look like they stand out a little bit more. So again, these are at a different angle, so the shape of the petal is a little bit more sideways, so it's a skinnier round arch shape. And notice how I'm curving the petals in so that they still look like they're going toward the center. You can see the petals on this side over here. They're have a curve on that outside edge, and still they're curving toward the center. And I need to, and then some of them you only see the tips of the petal themselves, so everything else is in shadow. Now that I'm done all the petals around the whole bud, I am putting the darkest parts in now, in between, and not everywhere, just in certain places. Those darks go down here as well in the lower part. And I've used blue down here, not just a dark peach. Now I'm coming in back into the center and just putting in a very pale yellow in spots for where that is showing up in the flower. And then back again with some blues or dark purple, just to emphasize some more lines. Put in another petal. And now I'm going to add some leaf shapes that are kind of curved around the outside edge. And just start in with some lighter green. Again, doing that pushing and pulling, just moving the water to make it move into the leaf itself. Now with the stem, I'm going to lay down that one edge, and then again I'm just going to use the water to pull it over so it has a more of a 3D effect. And then just put the color right down the edge of the water, the wet parts, and it kind of bleeds in and makes a nice 3D looking stem. Another leaf, and then we are done.